Today we're going to be going over some super safe, fresh, blind buy worthy fragrances that you can go out and purchase and just have great results from and not be taking a huge risk. These are all going to be on the affordable side of things, so obviously all designer. And by affordable, I'm looking at basically $50 or less, but a lot of these are around, $20, $30, $35, somewhere around in there. Not only that, they're also going to be obviously fresh, easygoing, uplifting, and just overall very likable. The whole term blind buy, it just ruffles feathers, but a lot of people don't really live in an area where they could just go out and sample stuff easily. A lot of people don't want to purchase samples online and wait for them to come in. After all, we live in kind of an era of instant gratitude, and you want it now. Amazon one-day shipping, overnight, same day shipping available on a whole bunch of stuff. We want things now. And so here you go. These are some things that you can purchase a full bottle of right now, have it at your door in a few days, and chances are you're really going to end up liking them. This first one is Hugo Boss Bottled Tonic. This one's got apple, orange, grapefruit. It's fresh, light, watery, perfect for summertime. There's not a whole lot to this one. It is pretty simplistic, but that's kind of the idea here. That's kind of what we're after. With a lot of these, the scents themselves kind of follow an idea of less is more. There are a couple of these that have more of an extensive note breakdown, but for the most part, these are pretty lean. They're pretty stripped back. They're fresh, and they don't go too far beyond that. They're not pushing any boundaries here. These are all pretty basic, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's just something to keep in mind. We're not trying to go overly unique with these. And to be fair, for what most people are after, just something to smell good and just, have people around you potentially comment on how you smell. A lot of times something simple and easy is going to get that job done really well, and this is no exception. This is obviously a giant bottle, big old 200 ml. At the time, it probably just made sense because it probably wasn't a whole lot more than the 100 ml. I don't remember what I paid for it. Don't remember what it's going for now. This bottle size, I know you can get the 100 mLs for, again, it's going to be under $50 or so. A really solid price. These Boss bottled fragrances, they're all really good. Obviously, there's a multitude of different kinds and different styles, some discontinued, some still in production. But over the years, they have put out a lot of really good scents. A lot of them kind of in the sweeter direction, but Tonic is going to be one of their fresher variants. It's a really solid release, something that you could pick up, toss in your cart. It's going to show up. You're going to smell it. You're going to think, hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It smells nice. You could wear this for any situation in the warm weather. This next one is Nautica Blue Sail. Now, you're going to be looking at about $15 for this one, okay? So this is probably going to be the cheapest one in this video. Of course, the obvious ones are going to be Nautica Voyage and maybe a couple of those flankers, Voyage Midnight and N83 and Heritage and stuff. They're all good. I will say, personally, coming from somebody who owns all of the Voyages, Sport, all of the ones I just listed off, the original is the best by a long shot, to the point where it's not even close. I've featured Heritage, I've featured N83, Sport, whatever, Midnight Voyage. They're fine, but personally, none of them come close to the original. There's something about that original that is just, it's iconic, it's timeless, and it is worlds ahead of all of the other flankers that they put out after. I don't think there's any topping that one. I mean, at this point, it's known as something that's played out and everybody wears it and it's boring, blah, blah, blah. But really, when you look at it for what it is, taking all the other outside noise out of the picture here and just the scent itself, it is phenomenal for the price. And obviously, that's a big digression here. Back on track with Blue Sail, $15, really nice fresh release from a brand that knows how to do fresh fragrances at an affordable price. This one does have green leaves, it has apple, it has watery notes. I mean, that note breakdown, it kind of looks similar to Voyage, doesn't it? However, it smells nothing like Voyage, so don't be twisted or don't be fooled there by that one. They're still quite a bit different. If I had to describe this, I would say take your favorite shower gel, and that's kind of what this smells like. It has a cooling, refreshing soapiness about it. And oftentimes you'll see fragrances described as like a shower gel smelling fragrance, you know, Dylan Blue, even Dior Sauvage and stuff. This isn't blue fragrance in that way where it's not ambroxan based, but it does have a clean, soapy freshness about it that kind of makes you feel like you just stepped out of the shower. And while that may sound boring for some, for a lot of guys out there, that's just what they want. They want something that they can blast on and then they just smell refreshed. They smell like they just had a shower when maybe they didn't, you know, and it just, there's something kind of appealing about having a scent like this that can do that, especially at $15 or maybe even a bit less. You might have to spray it a bit heavier than some other scents out there as far as that performance goes. It's going to be on the lower end of things, but can we really expect a $15 scent to last 10 hours? I just don't think that's a realistic goal. This next one is Aaro Chrome. It is the Parfum. You guys know I love the Extreme a lot. It's my favorite Aaro Chrome pretty much. However, though, over the past few years that the Parfum has been out, it's worked its way up, and to be fair, it didn't have to work hard. Chrome Pure, Chrome Sport, a few of the others, they're fine, but not really my favorites either. So basically, as soon as this came out, it jumped past all of those and then shot into second place right behind Chrome Extreme. So that's not really saying a whole lot for me personally, but I do think Chrome Extreme, Chrome Parfum are two of the best ones they have out right now. This one's got bergamot, sage, and fir resin, and that's all they give you. It's a newer release. It's a 3-note breakdown, as is what is pretty standard these days, but really, to be fair, and especially in this case, that's plenty. It gives you the idea. Citrusy and aromatic, that's it, and that's a very common smell these days. Think of your YO de Parfums, think of your Ralph's Clubs, and all of those. Now, I'm not saying that this smells like those, because it does not, but that type of style, that type of genre is in right now, and this one is kind of following along that path. It's going to be not quite as bright, not quite as fresh, not quite as citrusy, obviously, as the first two that we've covered. This is going to be a little bit of a deviation. So if you want something that actually has a little bit more depth behind it, this would be it. You know, like I said in the beginning of the video, a lot of these are playing it pretty safe. There are a couple that maybe go a little bit more kind of deeper into just trying to get something that is more unique. This would be that, but trust me, there is still nothing about this that is daring or off-putting to anybody. I think the only complaint that somebody could have for any of these is that they're just not all that exciting. But again, chances are if you're that person, you're probably not watching this video anyway, so nothing to really worry about here. I think you're looking at around $40 or so for Chrome Parfum. You know, it's newer, but it's at this point been out for a little while now, so prices have stabilized a bit on discounters. I recommend it highly. I would check it out. If you have Chrome Extreme, this would be a great addition to your Chrome lineup, but also, to be fair, Chrome Extreme is a great option for this video as well. So if you have that, maybe you're good for the Chrome line already and you could go into something else. Really quick, I forgot to mention it, but I will link all of these fragrances down below to discounters because I'm referencing prices, so obviously those are discounted prices, not full retail. Those links will be down there. And I also really quickly want to say that you should sign up to my mailing list and texting list. It's completely free, and anytime something rare, discontinued, hard to find comes into stock, or a really good deal or really good sale pops up, I send out an email and a text notification allowing you the opportunity to purchase said rare discontinued scent or shop the sale or just not do anything at all. It's your choice. Again, the service is 100% free to you, and essentially you're able to save a lot of money and get a lot of really cool fragrances that you might not have been able to otherwise. Perfect example, I'm sure we all remember Eros Najim, right? Do we really remember it? Because it's an exclusive edition that was never really available in the US until now. I found it and I notified my mailing list and my texting list. They heard it first. YouTube always hears about it last. Sign up, it's completely free. We'll see you in there. Let's go for something a little bit unique. So again, kind of pushing the boundaries here, quote unquote, because this is still nothing crazy. It's Low Dissy Blue Pour Homme. I had that order wrong. It's Low Blue Dissy Pour Homme. These, you know, you guys know how it is. These names, they just get longer and longer. Now they have an Eau Fresh version or just a fresh version. Nowhere to be found. And I was surprised to see that you can still get this one, okay? Now, this is a, let's double check. It's a 75 ml, 2.5 ounce. I believe that is all that's in stock on FragranceNet right now. And I think you're looking at around $30 or so. And theirs comes with the cap. Either I bought this as a tester or I lost my cap. I'm trying to remember. This doesn't say anything about testers, so I'm thinking I just must have lost the cap. It's kind of stupid looking. That kind of sucks, but oh well. Now, the note breakdown on this one is extensive. I wasn't going to list them all off. I wasn't going to write them all down, but I'll tell you a couple, at least the main ones that stick out to me. Rosemary, lime, cypress, juniper berries. Those are just a few. Again, go look it up. There's a ton of notes. This was back when they did it right. And, you know, I'm sure you guys remember too, and with how the note breakdowns are these days, maybe some people prefer, you know, the smaller note breakdowns because maybe it's less overwhelming to the consumer. Maybe that's the idea behind why they're doing that now. I don't know. But personally, I think it's cool to see all of the notes. Even if you can never pick up on half of them, there's just something cool about seeing them. It just reminds me of when I first started out and looking at that stuff and having no idea what any of it meant. But now I do. I don't know. I like that. But anyway, you know, just off those few that I listed off there, you kind of see that this is following a similar style to Chrome Parfum. Obviously, this was out way before Chrome Parfum. But it's not going to be your overly bright, fresh, traditional style summer scent either. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's a more aromatic, kind of woody style of spring, summer, freshy scent. But I'm telling you, that rosemary, it smells like you just went out to the garden and picked you some fresh rosemary right off the stem. It is absolutely 100% realistic. It's pretty impressive, especially at the price point that this goes for. So this one will be a little bit more unique, a little bit more exciting, still not into that challenging aspect yet, still not into something where it's off-putting. Yeah, it's going to be more herbaceous, but there's enough going on surrounding this one that I don't think that's too much of an issue. And I think really, though, the people who are watching this, you know, and are going to be making some purchases have a good enough of an idea of what they like and what they don't. So if you don't want something that's more woody and herbaceous, don't go for this. Instead, go for a few of the others we've talked about already. But there's enough variety within this small selection that I think pretty much everybody would be able to find something that sounds good to them. Again, most people kind of have a general idea of what they're after, and these all stick true to how they're described and how they present in terms of the notes. The fresh citrusy looking ones are fresh and citrusy. The woody herbaceous ones are woody and have a focus on rosemary and herbs and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to figure out. And I said small selection because we're down to the last one already. It's Perry Ellis Sky. You know, sometimes making that blind buy choice can be a little bit overwhelming. And so let's just keep it simple with 5 cents. You know, let's not put 15 in here and really make it hard. This one is something you never really even hear about. Perry Ellis, you know, you hear about 360 Red, or you did. That was like by far the most popular one. And then now you just don't really hear about any of their scents. This one's got violet leaves, mint, cedarwood, some ambroxan in here as well. So kind of going back on track, something a little bit more bright, a little bit more fresh, green and minty, but with a somewhat, just a little bit of that ambroxan modernized blue fragrance touch. This one is a bit of a newer release. It's probably, I don't know. I can't remember if this came out before Chrome Parfum or not, but it's one of the newest ones in the video. A few of these other ones in here have been out for quite a while. Bergamot off the opening as well, along with some lime, if I didn't mention that already. So nice, bright, sour, punchy opening, going into an ambroxan, smoother, violet leaf, kind of watery, dry down. It smells really pleasant. Bottle looks pretty cool. It's blue. It's got ambroxan. Is it a full-on blue fragrance? No, I wouldn't go that far, but there is some ambroxan in there to kind of make it fit in with the times, I guess. Another very reasonably priced one, as is with all Perry Ellis. I was looking before the video, and your retail price is like 80 bucks. There's zero reason to be paying anything close to that. I think you're generally going to be looking at around 30 for this one. That's kind of where you should be, or maybe even a bit less sometimes, depending on where you're shopping. But basically just don't pay the retail price and you'll be good. Alrighty guys, there you go. 5 fresh fragrances that would be worth potentially making a blind purchase on. Most of these you're not going to find in store, okay? Blue Sail, Tonic, low blue Dissy, even probably somewhat Chrome Parfum. You're not going to find those on the counter at Macy's to try them first. A lot of these are at the price point where it is kind of counterintuitive to purchase a sample of, which kind of only leaves the idea of you just buy the bottle. So that's kind of the idea behind this, trying to present some options that I do think are very easygoing, very blind buy safe for people who have a general idea of what their taste is. And I think all of these fit that category, a little bit of everything for everybody. So as I mentioned, these will be linked down below. Again, guys, make sure you get on that mailing list, texting list. A lot of you already are and have been for years now, but if you haven't, if you're new to the channel, 100% free to sign up, and you can unsubscribe at any time if the deals aren't working for you, but anything that you can think of. That Aaro Chrome, La Nuit de l'Homme L'Intense, kind of a rare, cool find. The One Gentleman, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. There's another rare light blue that popped up as well. If Light Blue Forever Italian Love ever came into stock, I would post about that or notify about that. So again, if you want to be first to know about anything cool showing up or just great flash sales, I'll see you in there. Sign up below, send any text to the number down below, and you're in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.